Hello everyone, hello world. This is Plane Time. I'm your host, Ben Coleman, Florida Aviation Network, coming from our studios here in Orlando, Florida. And we're always so glad to have compelling and entertaining, informative programs that we bring to you, and we hopefully you enjoy it. Let us know. We have a volunteer cast here that from all over the state of Florida, literally. But these volunteers come here out of a sense of obligation to help us with our safety message. And this is why we are here. Today we have guests in from Mexico, from actually Puerto Vallarta is home for them. And this is SkyDiveMex. And we have with us Alex.
Ben, good
and
day.
We have Antonio.
Hi, Ben.
And these guys, they do something that most people in aviation say, why would you jump out of a perfectly good airplane? And we want to know why these guys choose to jump out of a perfectly good airplane. But tell us, guys, how did you get your start into jumping out of a perfectly good airplane? Where'd you come from? What did you do?
Well, actually, we started doing advertising for a skydive company. And after we make the contract, we decided to jump to feel what it was like. And we got in love with this. It's a beautiful sport. It's an amazing experience that everybody should do at least once in a lifetime.
At least once?
At least, well, we have done around 342 times, but somebody needs to do it at least once.
So, you know, this, guys, is really the cusp of what we in aviation call you got bit by the bug. You got the bug of skydiving. And what you have learned since then is what I want to bring to our studio audience and our viewing audience as well. The aspects of safety. When you first started to skydive, what did you do for basically, were you afraid? Were you scared? Did anything concern you? Were you concerned about your safety?
Yeah, well, like in aviation, people who haven't flied will be scared of the first flight. In the skydiving, it's the same. You've heard that it's a dangerous thing to do, and at the beginning you're afraid, but once you are doing it continuously, you learn that it's safe because you learn about safety procedures, same as on the airplanes or in aviation. And once you repeatedly or constantly do it, you know that it's a safe sport to do.
And usually, guys, it's human nature. It's fear of the unknown. And if you don't know what you don't know, you fear it. So you learn it, and the more you learn about it, just like flying. A lot of people say, wow, flying is dangerous. Well, relatively speaking, no. More people are killed every year in slip and fall bathtub accidents.
Or car accidents.
Car accidents, but we'll develop that in the second segment. Training. It's so important, and we do use the training aspect quite a bit in aviation, and I'm sure that skydiving is just the same. What do you do for your instructors? I'm sure your staff, you have instructors that without their skill, you can't operate safely, but what type of training do you provide to your folks, and what do they do to stay up on the jumps?
Well, there is an association that wrote a couple of books about security, so we learn from them and we do a constantly refresh of that's procedure. So the idea is to do all over again, day by day, the same procedure, so they have it like in the back of their brain.
Like a routine.
Exactly, like a routine.
Wow. And and as far as for the skydive, what is the majority of your skydives? Because I'm sure there's a difference. Explain to us. There's free fall and there's tandem. I've heard the term tandem jumps. What does tandem jump really involve?
Look, for example, when you are jumping out of the plane, when you are on the plane, you have the control of it. Same thing happens when you are free falling. If you have control of yourself while you're falling, you will be more comfortable doing it. So tandem, as you ask, it's the way that you jump with an instructor, with a professional, that will help you to just enjoy. Like you will not do anything, but enjoy the free fall time. He will be in control of everything: the free fall, the position, the timing, the altitude, deploying the chute. Everything will be under his control. And the free fall as a sport, it's on your own, and there are many disciplines on that.
Wow, there's so many terms that I have learned since I've been involved with aviation, and acronyms and this, that, the other. But the term "jump out of an aircraft" is actually a misnomer. Well, you can jump, but typically you fall out of the aircraft. And the term "free fall," falling, in human nature, you fall, you get hurt. You fall off a table, you get hurt. You fall on the floor, you get hurt. But in falling actually in the sport of falling, is to do it safely and competently, is really quite a lot of fun. And during our discussion here, Obi and our crew, John Carter, Captain Carter, is going to be dropping in photos as we speak about the art of falling out of an aircraft. And as a matter of fact, I can kind of see a picture right now in my mind that we might be viewing in this program of what it's like to fall out of an aircraft. But if you can do it safely, I compel everyone to do it safely. But is skydiving safe?
For sure. It's completely safe. I mean, it's
I set you up, Antonio. Remember, I told you I was going to do this.
Well,
I
yes.
tell you I was going to do this. That's my Spanish, by the way. But safe is really, if you break down the term safe, is free from harm.
Yes.
Are we free from harm as we sit here in this studio?
No,
No,
not really.
Were you free from harm as you drove in today?
Not really.
Okay. So how can you be free from harm when you're skydiving?
Well, you can't, but you can.
That's the key.
You can't be free from harm, but you have to maintain the lowest possibility to get harm. So that's why you create controls, you create safety systems that will make you more secure and less harm.
I'm looking for it to be done safely.
Exactly.
It can be done safely, and you have demonstrated that to me. I've been to your shop, and I've had the pleasure of falling out of your aircraft, and it was done safely. I never really had a fear of my safety, knowing full well that there was some things that could go wrong, but fortunately they didn't. There's some wood. Well, Formica, is it okay? Is it same knocking on Formica the same as knocking on wood? No. But it's a lot of fun. It's a good sport with the training. But we want to develop, and plane time is really about aviation safety and maintenance. What type of maintenance do you guys do in your operation?
Well, we do have a rigger, which is the person who has certification about all the equipments that we use, and every 6 months we inspect the equipment by a rigger. So he tells us that he signs a booklet.
How you say logbook?
The
logbook.
A logbook, and he just certifies that everything is in the perfect condition. And he also gives us a check on every instructor. He has a conversation with them, so to realize if they are still in shape and ready to keep doing the tandem jumps.
It is also important to say that, for example, you have in your equipment, every 6 months, as you said, is not only the check. If it haven't been used, you have to unfold it and fold it again. So in a perfectly way that when you have a malfunction on your main canopy, on your main parachute, the second one, which is the reserve, will function in a perfect way.
So hopefully safely completing the
Safely.
operation.
Exactly.
Wow. The maintenance. How about how do you just happen to be at 10,000 feet? How do you get to 10,000
Well,
feet?
this is how we are connected, because, for example, there is another sport which is base jump, which includes the same equipment that we use, but it's completely different. But in aviation, in skydiving, so we have to be hand to hand with an airplane. So first of all, we have to climb to 10,000 feet or 13,000 feet, and then jump out of it. So the first thing to be saved and checked is the airplane where we're going up, because we can have an accident on the airplane without even skydive. So first thing that have to be safe is the airplane where we're going to jump off.
Have you noticed that some of the skydive aircraft that are used, some of them have a reputation of being, we say in the industry, a little bit rough, a little bit ragged, put up tired and wet. I mean, it's really because the emphasis is on the parachute and the skydive, but not so much the aircraft. But I've noticed in your operation, you have a very, very nice airplane, and you do a lot of maintenance on it. I do know that. This is something that we hope that every operator, and even other operators, your competitors, that see this interview will want to take their level of professionalism up just a little bit, to have their aircraft meet the same level of professionalism as your operation. So that's why, and again, maintenance. Do you do the maintenance on your aircraft?
No,
You
actually,
personally?
you went down there and certified the shop that is doing our maintenance, and actually that's why we trust you that much, because you're specialized in security, and this is why we maintain the airplane in perfect condition. As you know, we have like a balance. So anytime we prefer safety than fun of the sport, even money. So safety comes first out of the business. Whenever situation comes first, it's safety first before money or before fun.
And that's and a part of establishing that safety is the maintenance that you do on not only
Exactly.
your aircraft, but your jumping equipment. Because is that kind of considered an aircraft as well?
Well, yes, and we always have a meeting with our pilot, and he explained us not just about the security of jumping from the plane. It's about knowing the environment of the air condition and all the risk that it takes just to get in the door of the plane, to open the door from the plane. It's a big issue. So if you are up there and you just go without having all this process of security before, then you can have a bad time up there. If you open the door, meanwhile the pilot is not ready to have that experience when he's flying, then you can have a difficult moment over there. So it's very important to have all that communication.
Before we go to a break, I want to bring up the safety record. And we always, in aviation, we talk about safety. We talk about the statistics. And accident prevention is really what we're all about. That's what drives this whole effort here. But what is the kind of the safety record of skydiving compared to, say, driving a car or even running?
Well, actually, there's more chances that you have an accident on your day-to-day basis driving your car than in the skydiving sport. For example, according to the USPA.
What is USPA? I don't know this acronym.
Well, the USPA is United States Parachute Association,
Okay.
which is in charge of these controls, safety controls, and this association gives us the guideline to operate our drop zone. So, well, according to the USPA, there has been like 24 fatalities accident in a 3.2 million jumps. So that comes to a 0.0075% of fatality accidents in the sport.
Let me wrap my head around this. Wait a minute. Over 3 million jumps.
Yeah,
That's correct.
that's correct.
24.
Yeah, like for example, that comes to 0.0075 per 1,000 jump.
that number doesn't mean much to me other than it's very small.
Yeah,
It is.
it's like I said before, driving your car, it's potentially more willing to have an accident or to be in a situation that you can damage your body,
Get hurt.
you get hurt in your car, in your.
Guys, let's take a quick break because I want to do some reset, and we're going to come back and talk about the growth of the
sport.
industry, the sport of skydiving, and some youth. We're going to compare it to some other industry, and we're just going to see where the conversation takes us from there. But at this time, let's just take a quick break, and we may have some little special program for you.